I just got off the phone with a major retailer who wants to carry threadless shirts all across the country in their stores. So, brought you guys together. I wanted to talk about pros and cons, what that means for threadless.
It's a pretty big decision. It's a big move. I mean, on one hand, we have like huge distribution, like opportunity, but
Yeah,
is
I
it
mean,
right?
it'll definitely increase our sales, and the business will grow a lot. So, it could be something we should do.
Well, what exactly are they wanting?
They want access to some of our catalog, and that they'd be ordering our T-shirts in huge quantities. Probably more of our popular designs. I don't know if they'd be coming out with new shirts in the store every week like we do on the website, but just carrying our popular designs.
What do you think the positives would be?
Well, I mean, there's going to be good publicity for the designers,
It's got to be good.
and financial benefit, obviously.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about the story of threadless being lost in a retailer? Like, do you think that our T-shirts being sold at a major retailer are just going to be another T-shirt sold in the store?
Yeah.
I mean,
Probably. I don't think that, a 50,000 square foot store is going to give us any attention over their other, 500,000 products they have in there. Like, I mean, that's a pretty big issue.
I mean, it'll lose the story.
Yeah.
It's probably possible that we could request that, but it seems like if you go into a retailer like that, the brands that do have like a separate area are probably rival in size to that retailer anyways, so they have the clout to ask for a certain amount of space for their own signage and their own information, and I just don't know if we're at that size yet.
I mean, maybe we could repackage the shirts with including cards with the story or more information about the site. But that's a huge overhead for us to have to add all this to the shirts, and
they may not allow it, because if there's information on there, I would imagine
That's
that
true.
one of the things that they're not going to want people to do is figure out that they could go to a site and probably get them for cheaper.
Well, ideally, I'd want people to do everything that you do on the website in the store. Scoring designs, being able to communicate with other bloggers, and just talking about the shirts. People don't really, you're not in a retail store talking to the person next to you.
Yeah.
What do you think of this T-shirt?
I can't really imagine a design meetup in the middle of a mall.
Right. I wonder if that would even affect the sales of our shirt, because I think a lot of the reasons why people are buying the shirts is because of the story.
Right. And I do think that our success so far is attributed to being able to sell directly to our customers, and if we are taking on a piece of business that is giving us a big chunk of money, but it's more business to business, and if that scares away our business to consumer sales,
customers are our business. Without them, then
we'd have
nothing.
T-shirts.
Yeah.
Right. Because I don't want it to scare away the designers, and then we're selling a lot of mediocre T-shirts.
Yeah, or just another shirt.
I think a lot of the same negatives to why we don't advertise apply to this, because it's all of our growth has been so organic that when you push our products on people, it goes against that organic growth.
Let's just pretend that we were going to do it, and then what would our first steps be? Because obviously we want to maintain our relationship with our community, and that exists on a completely transparent level. So how do we approach the subject of, oh yeah, by the way?
We're going to have to show that there's benefits in it for the community too, I guess. So I don't know if that means that we have to raise the prize money or...
And I guess best case scenario, we decide to do it. We print up all the products, send it to the retailer, and it starts selling really well. Our community is happy that they can go to a local retailer and buy threadless shirts without having to go online and deal with all that. The designers are happy to have their stuff sold nationally.
Just trying to think of raising the prize money. I think that's something that we could do for the designers, but I'm trying to think about kind of our pretty enormous contingent of super fans who every Monday are buying everything, and they take total pride in the fact that the stuff that they have seemingly no one else has where they're from. and that they feel ownership in the company because all of the decisions that we make are in relatively small pieces, so we can present them to everyone. And this is sort of a big one that I assume people would feel slightly blindsided by. I mean,
yeah, I'd be afraid that our community is going to think that we're making decisions because of this retailer instead of, what's in the best interest of our users.
Right. Because
well, worst case scenario then, if we want to talk about that, like, we decide to do it. People start boycotting threadless because we've sold out, and all this, and the designers are really upset because we're printing so much more of their product, and we didn't handle the price thing appropriately. Or it could go either way, though. If we do it right, there could be a good scenario.
What happens if they make a huge order and one of the designs doesn't sell, and within their terms they send us back what would be, like a 50 times batch of a shirt, and then we have to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, if they buy something, they could return it back to us if it doesn't sell.
What kind of requirements do they have? Like, we can't just send them boxes of shirts. Like, they probably have some standards.
Yeah, there's about a 150-page document about how we have to send them our goods. We get fined if we don't tape the box with the right tape. Every little detail is pretty much set in stone.
I mean, that is a huge risk, but I think if we just made sure not to, as long as we follow those guidelines, I mean, it could be huge. I mean, we could sell millions of shirts a year.
I mean, obviously people do follow those guidelines.
Yeah, I mean, I think once we just get a system in place, it could be doable.
Yeah.
How do we, so let's say that we figure out how to ship them stuff without losing money on it. How do we maintain our 7 new shirts, 2 reprints a week at the batch sizes that we do, while maintaining our 4 sales a year, and then on top of it be able to hit up production runs of probably tens of thousands of shirts at any time that they make an order, when both of our printers are working at probably like 50 to 75% capacity at all times and 100% capacity at our sale times.
Yeah, what's the priority? I mean, if we don't deliver to the retailer, they might just drop us.
Right. And then we just did all that work for nothing.
Right.
I mean, we wouldn't want that production to cut into our current production. We'd probably have a third printer, that maybe is cheaper and that's devoted to the retail stuff.
Right. And I suppose that at those single batch quantities, our print price would probably go way down.
Yeah.
So going back to the best case scenario, I mean, what all would happen if it went right? I mean, the community, like, how will the community react? How could the community react in a good way?
Well, I think that I don't think there's going to be a good reaction for a while, much like everything else that we do. I mean, small moves, we get 3 days of complaining. I mean, and it's the double-edged sword of having a community that's as passionate about our products as they are. Is you change anything, and it freaks them out. This is a big change. And it's going to be more about being nimble to what people's new opinions are. And I mean, for lack of a better term, playing damage control for a little while.
Yeah, even in our best case scenario, we'll probably be playing some damage control.
I mean, ideally, we would just add this on, and it wouldn't affect our normal sales or our normal business, but I don't think there's any way that's going to happen.
I think pretty much one of the only ways that we could do it to keep people happy is, because I mean, obviously we can't like take a vote on whether or not we should do it, but what we can do is, if we did do it, afterwards we could make sure that we have some like pretty serious ongoing discussions with the community about ideas of how to, not make it right, but how to make people comfortable with it. That's within reason. That would be good changes for the company to have anyways. That would allow this to be seen as an extension of the brand.
Well, so it's pretty clear, if we decide to do this, we'll definitely see a lot of sales and make a lot of money.
Yeah, it could be huge for us.
But I guess on the other side of the fence, it could be pretty damaging to our community, and it's kind of risky as far as the relationship with the retailer goes.
Yes, it's not guaranteed. I mean, it could be one order and that's it.
Yeah.
And the damage is still done.
And it could very possibly be the last big decision of our company.